What is going on, guys? Disney Dan here, and welcome back into the channel, and welcome to episode number 15 of Disney Fiasco. I am your host, Disney Dan. I am joined once again by Mickey's Magic, my friend Megan. How are you doing, my friend? How are you?
Well, long time no see, Dan. Dan and I had a live stream yesterday. We were just hanging out, and I am doing so well. Hi, Adam and Kay and Our Disney Adventures and Zoe. Everyone, thank you so much for coming. And we have such a special guest here today. I'm so excited.
It's so exciting. Well, I've got to say, welcome back, Corey Fiasco. Wait, Corey, are you here? Oh, no,
I don't think Corey's here.
Corey is not here. Unfortunately,
it's Melissa and I from Mouse Talk.
We kicked him out.
So yeah, guys, unfortunately, Corey Fiasco cannot make it in tonight. He had to go and do some other things this evening, which is fine. Yeah. Everyone is not going to be here now and again, but we are joined tonight by Walt and Melissa from Mouse Talk. It is so glad and so happy to have you guys on Disney Fiasco this week.
We are honored. We really, really are. It's a lot of fun. We're very honored to be here. We're gonna have a good time tonight. We're really rearing to go. We got some good ones, I think, for you guys tonight.
And we are super, super excited. And I think everybody in the chat is really looking forward to today's show. This is episode number 15. We've got to say hi to Adam's Land, who literally was in Disneyland Paris just now, streaming for Resort TV 1. He did an absolutely amazing job. Show him some love. Zoe is here. Our Disney Adventures here. Bob and Ashley are here. Donna Anderson Farnan are here. Everyone is here tonight. It's been absolutely great. So make sure we're hitting that like button, subscribing to my partner channels as well as Mouse Talk's channel. So if you guys are new to Disney Fiasco, this is how our show works. We go around the table talking about our favorite funny moments from Disney rides. This is the topic this week. This is the topic that you guys voted on my Twitter account, and we are going to be doing the same for next week, and we'll talk about that at the end of the show. So thank you so much for stopping by. Hey, R. Johns, the legend, is here. So it's good to see everybody. So funny Disney ride moments. These are the moments that really just either take you as a surprise and just make you laugh and make you really enjoy the attraction. And for me, it was a very difficult list to make because I could list so many. But this is how it's going to work. We're going to go around the table and we're going to pick an attraction or pick a moment from a ride or a show or an attraction, and we're going to discuss it. So yeah, we'll get started. Hey, AJ, what is going on, my friend? So we are going to be going with guests first. We're going to be starting with Melissa. Firstly, happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Melissa. We're so glad that you are here on your birthday. Thank you so much. But we are going to start with the birthday girl. What is your number one or your favorite funny moment at Walt Disney World?
Well, this is one of mine more because I was made fun of tremendously for this. I'm not a fan of roller coasters. I'm scared of heights. And a few trips ago, the family talked me into going on to Big Thunder Mountain. I've gotten better since. But anyway, I'm on the ride and it's, jerking you around all over the place. And I'm holding on to Walt. I'm freaking out. And I think I even used a couple of curse words, which is really bad when you're in Disney. And we get to the end of the ride and we stop and he gets out and he points behind me and there's like a 3-year-old in the car behind us. So, I mean, just like, he's like, look, she's smiling, and it was like, and I'm freaking out. And it was just kind of sad, but funny now that I look back on it now, and quite embarrassing on my part. So that's one of my funny stories where, a 3-year-old can handle Big Thunder and I can't.
And I think that's what's really funny about Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. It's, for me, I feel like it is the roughest roller coaster in the Magic Kingdom. Everyone says Space Mountain, but trust me,
yeah,
Big Thunder Mountain outside in the wind, and you get like thrown from side to side and bouncing up against everybody. And I get that same feeling, Melissa. Like, I used to be terrified of roller coasters. I used to be terrified of them. But then I just see these kids go on and they're like, hold on, these kids are half the age of me and I'm terrified. It can't be. If they can go on it, I can go on it. I can definitely do it.
Exactly
but
right.
I understand though, so I get it. And also, Big Thunder Mountain has some, it's a thrilling roller coaster. It has probably one of my favorite lines. That is the wildest ride in the wilderness. Exactly. And it's a great ride. It makes people smile coming off it. I don't see anybody coming off that ride and not smile because it's that good.
You weren't there when I was
Steve.
Hey, Steve's World. Hey, Megazog. What is going on? And hey, Donna. 2 Donnas are in the chat. The Donna team, double Donna are here.
All the Donnas.
All the Donnas. That is a great first pick, Melissa. Really, really awesome. We are heading to Walt now. What is your first pick of the evening?
Melissa and I are probably going to have a lot of the same ones on our list. So I'm just going to get it out of the way. That was actually my number 1. Awesome. Funniest moment because, and I'll elaborate on what she was talking about, and I'll give you my point of view on that experience because we were there and this was the first roller coaster for her was Big Thunder Mountain, and she does not do roller coasters, period. So we're on this roller coaster, Big Thunder, and we're going, and her eyes are closed, and she's holding on to me, and I'm like, okay, here comes a drop. Here comes another drop, and then she's like, don't tell me when the drops are coming. And she probably did say something she shouldn't have said. And it was 2 little kids that were behind us by themselves, by the way. I think they were like 5 and 6 or something like that. Maybe one of them, they might have been having a parent. I'm like, you see them? They're having a good time. It was the most hilarious thing ever. I've never seen her so scared in my entire life. And then yet there was like a 4 and a 5-year-old that were right behind us, and they were like,
So is it the speed? Is it the drops? Is it what about it really? It's
all of the above.
It doesn't matter.
I don't like the feeling of falling. I don't like being up high. I don't like fast. I'm like, I should be in a bubble.
Yeah, she doesn't like to get up before 9 a.m. No, I'm just kidding. It was the best ride ever. It was so funny. She was freaking out so bad. But now she's okay with it. You had
convinced me, because it was the first time ever. I've always been scared. I just, getting out of my shell. I have gotten better. I rode it our last trip, and I wasn't nearly as...
No, not at all.
I was okay. I just don't like like you said, the shoving around and the...
So funny.
Compared to, like, Mine Train.
It was so funny.
It's just so different.
It was just so funny. And the looks on the little kids' faces were like, is she okay?
which is interesting because I was going to ask you what about Mine Train, because Mine Train is a similar attraction, but it's a lot smoother, and it's the ride vehicles do rock. But what do you prefer? So you go on the Mine Train? Yeah,
and I don't seem to have much trouble with that. But granted, that was after I'd got a little bit of the experience under my belt, and I've become a lot braver. And I think I've realized that you're not going anywhere.
Sure.
And my next funny story actually, I guess, is contradicting what I'm saying now, and we'll get to that. And I know I wasn't going to tell him. No, but I mean, it's just I am getting better. I'm hoping maybe I'm getting better with age, like a fine wine.
There you go.
Fantastic. And I want to bring over Megan and what her views are on Big Thunder Mountain. Is it an attraction that I think it's a must do for everybody? But is it something that makes you just laugh every time you hear the wildest ride in the wilderness, or is it the drops? Is it just the experience? What is it about Big Thunder Mountain that makes you laugh?
I love being in the little cart with my mom because I'll just like smash into her whenever we go around the turns. But it's such a fun ride, and I remember my mom had taken my aunt her aunt, so my great aunt, and how old? She must have been like 75 or 80 something years old, and she was like leaning over like down like that. She like would not look up the entire time. She was so terrified. But I actually think that Space Mountain is more rough than Big Thunder, and especially because you're in the dark. But I always have so much fun on that ride.
See, I think there's definitely a difference. I feel like if you're in the back of Space Mountain, you're right at the back, you definitely feel that jittiness. You're jumping out of your seat at the back of Space Mountain. And it is rough. But I feel like Big Thunder Mountain, because it's outside the wind, and you are like more moving side to side, and hitting you, like you said, bashing into your mom. I think they're both as rough as each other, but I think that's what makes them maybe a little bit more unique and special. So but that's a great first story and pick from both of you. It's really, really awesome. Hey Cargo, what is up? How's it going? All right, so Megan, where are you for your what's your first funny Disney ride moment?
So I picked sort of more a generalized like attraction, and then I'll go into more of a specific time that it just happened on my last trip that I think was so funny. And this is obviously the Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. This is such a funny show, and I don't know if you guys have done it, if people in the chat have done it. It's a really underrated show. And the people who do it, they're so good at improvising, and they are so hilarious when they pick on people. Especially, Dan, I think you could probably attest to this because you were Randall. And I know Miguel was that guy. I have never been anyone in the show, but I think it'd be really funny one day if I were. But I have a really funny story from that attraction. And the last time I went, I think we did Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. Oh, hello, human! As I was saying.
Everybody gotta raise your hands.
Anyway, we had done like 3 or 4 shows of Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor while we were there for like 4 days, and this one guy, when I can't remember his name, but the purple monster who comes out and does like the mind reading.
It's not Marty, is it?
It's Buddy Boyle.
Yes.
Buddy Boyle. There you go.
And so he comes out and he's like, ooh, I'm going to pick someone, I'm going to read their mind, whatever. And so he finds this guy in the audience that's just like holding his backpack like so tight like this and not letting go. And so he just like picks on this one guy and he's like, do you love your backpack? And he was like, yes. And he goes, what's your name? And he says his name and he goes, does your backpack have a name? And he goes, yes. And then you're like, wait, what? And then it just like, it goes on from that. And he was like, he was chewing gum like really, really like that. I didn't want to say obnoxiously, but it was like, and he goes, what you're chewing on? He was like, chicle. And he's like, what is that? A little chick? I'm gonna have it up on I think my last vlog from Magic Kingdom. It's gonna come out sometime in the next couple weeks. I have like the whole thing on video because I didn't even know. It was so funny. Yeah. Yes, his backpack had a name.
Let me tell you something.
That's funny.
Let me tell you something about the Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. I went to see this show during my college program for the first time. So I always think it was just like a show that, people just go there if they wanted to get out the sun for a bit and have a nap, like the Carousel of Progress. I thought it was all that kind of same kind of thing. And I went in there and I fell in love with this show. And it was the last attraction that I went on this year. And I absolutely loved it because every show that I went to see was different. And that's what I think is so unique about it and so hysterical about it because you never know what's going to happen. You have no idea. And I've been picked twice for 2 different reasons during my college program. And I was just, for me, when I'm home, I'm very introverted. But at Disney, I go all out. I just go full on like, hey, everybody, this is me, blah, blah, blah. So I try and get the attention of the camera guy with the light at the top of the screen and like, hey, I'm here, blah, blah, blah. So the first time I got picked was when I was Randall. And I was wearing like a horrible T-shirt. I had like, I think it was even like a vest and like everyone could see me and it was horrible. And like, I was just making these really weird faces and I got picked. I was like, in my mind, I was just like, yes, like this is amazing. But I was trying to act all like really mean and like this, and they were like, you gotta be like Randall disappears. So I was like,
That's great.
It was. I was just trying to do it really subtly and just really funny. And then the second time, I was the guy who got up and danced, and they started putting like dance music, and I started doing like the chicken dance. Yeah, it was just really funny, and you never know what's gonna happen. It was on my honorable mentions list because I don't think you could talk about funny attractions without talking about the laugh floor, because it has laugh in its name. It's what it's all about. So and I love the theming and just everything about it is phenomenal. So Walt and Melissa, what do you think of the laugh floor?
Oh, we love it.
Oh,
we definitely do. Just for the same reasons you said.
Nothing like it.
Always different, just really fun. I always go out of there just with a huge smile on my face.
I want to be that guy.
Never, any of us have ever been anything.
I would love to be that guy. I have like a whole list of things ready to go if I'm ever picked as that guy. That would be great. I love that show. I think it's wonderful. It is a good way to get out of the heat for a little bit. Everybody loves it. Everybody gets involved with it. Everybody walks out of there with a smile on their face.
We've submitted some jokes too, but they never picked any of them.
Yep. No, not yet. Not yet. We got to come up with a really good one.
Right. Our son usually, our youngest, picks them for us.
It's a great show. It's a great show. It actually didn't make my list. Didn't make my honorable mention.
I know, which is crazy.
Because we have some other stuff, but I totally get it, Dan. It makes total sense. And Megan, laugh floor is it's a must do. You can't miss it. Yep. You have to do it when you go to Disney.
Sooner Girl said she hides from the camera in that show. She doesn't want to be a part of it.
They're gonna make you a target if you do try.
Yeah, that's
true. You're right.
You've got to act. You got to act normal and just sit there and just have a good time and just watch the screen, and then you'll probably be fine. So, awesome, right? We're gonna head on to my first pick, and we're gonna stay in the Magic Kingdom. This is the first time we think we've all stayed in the Magic Kingdom for our first round. And we're going to go to an attraction, which is a classic. It's a ride, it's more of a show that, honestly, every time I go, I just have tears coming from my eyes with laughter because people around me just don't get it. And that is the Country Bear Jamboree. I love this show. And I love even more a particular bear.
Where's Miguel?
I forgot the L. I said Miguel's favorite.
I love Big Al. I think Big Al, every time I see, when the song finishes before that, you hear the guitar notes, you go, dong, dong. It's like the start of 2001: A Space Odyssey, and then the light just burns. And you just see this big, earthy, like bear playing the guitar, and it just, and if you just listen to the lyrics of the Country Bear Jamboree songs, Big Al, Blood on a Saddle. Every time a guy turns me on, turns me down from the three triplet bears, it's just bizarre, entertaining. It's just weird, and I love it. And I took a friend this year who'd never been to Disney World, and I said, listen, we went on to Journey into Imagination. You thought that was weird. Just wait, you're coming on to the Country Bear Jamboree with us. And she came out of that ride, and she was like, she actually had no words. She was speechless. She was just like, what did I just watch? And every time I watch it, I'm just in hysterics. I have the whole soundtrack on my phone. So I'm driving in my car, and people are looking into my car because my window's down, and everyone just hears, there was blood on the saddle. And people just look at me, it's like, who is this guy? And I'm just like, I'm listening to Country Bear Jamboree because that's the funniest thing in the Magic Kingdom. So look, I love this show. It's one of my personal favorites. I have to go on it every time I go there, and it's a bizarre choice, but I had to go with it. So I want to hear what everyone else thinks about the Country Bear Jamboree as one of their funniest moments. So let's start with Walter and Melissa, because I'm sure you've seen it a couple times.
That was actually on my list.
It made my
only because
it's number 3 for me.
For the number of times we have been, we didn't go the first time until our last trip, and we sat in there and we were like, "What?" just like everything that happened, like exactly when you're talking about Big Al, we almost peed ourselves laughing, I think. And then with the moose heads on the wall, and then it was just, I just was like, where are we? I'm like, we aren't in Disney anymore. Yeah. It was so funny. I was like, why haven't we done this before?
It's crazy. Well, it's the funniest story. Melissa's right, because we had never done Country Bears Jamboree until last trip. We just were like, we just don't have time. We're going to skip it. We never did it. So we did it this last time. And so we go into it, and Melissa's holding a soda for me, a Coke. And I guess she had dropped it or something.
I think you dropped it.
Something happened. So anyway, so I said, can I have the Coke, please? And she hands me the Coke, and I open it, and it explodes.
Oh, right.
Everywhere. Okay, so I'm like wearing Coca-Cola, so I'm not in the best mood before Country Bear starts. Then the show starts, and it's the most hilarious show ever. I totally forgot about the whole Coke situation by the time we were done. So funny. We were laughing so much, and like to the point we had tears in our eyes. It is, first off, it's classic Disney.
Yep.
And it's sad that they don't have it any longer at Disneyland. So that's one thing we do have over Disneyland. But I love this attraction. I think it is the funniest thing. And you're right. Some of the lyrics, kids are going to shake their head, scratch their head like, huh?
Yep.
And the adults will just like kind of chuckle.
Yeah. I had no idea what it meant when I was a child. I was just like, why are these bears like singing these songs? But now when I went as an adult, I'm like, oh, that's hysterical. That is so funny.
You definitely have an appreciation for it. And now I don't want to miss it.
Yeah.
Now I want to see it every time.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's the funniest thing. And Big Al, I need to get a meet and greet with him one time. He's awesome.
So Megan, who is your favorite bear from the Country Bears?
Oh, it has to be Big Al.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love him?
True.
It's so obscure. Like, it's just so strange. And I did it a lot as a kid because that's one of my mom's favorite attractions. So, like, it was just always so confusing to me as a kid. Like, what are these bears singing about? And why are the like taxidermy like things on the walls?
I know.
And just so confusing. And then it would just be over, and I'd walk out, and it'd be like,
yeah,
what happened?
It's a fantastic attraction, and I hope it stays around for years to come. But we're gonna, before we get on to the next one, hey, paging Mr. Morrow, what is up, guys? How's it going?
Veronica or Nate? Who is it?
Or both.
Or both.
We love you guys.
We love you guys. So before we head on to round two, I just want to make sure, thank you everybody for joining in. Make sure you're hitting that like button and sharing out the stream. Corey Fiasco, unfortunately, is unable to attend tonight, but we are joined by special guests, Mouse Talk. So we're glad that you guys are here with us. And then Megan is off to Disney this week. So we'll be getting another special guest for next week while Megan enjoys Walt Disney World. So we're talking about our funniest Disney ride moments this week, and we are heading into round two. So we're going to head back to the birthday girl, Melissa, for your second pick.
Well, I shared this recently on another live stream, so forgive me for those who've heard this, but it's my Splash Mountain moment. And again, back into the I'm scared of drops and heights. And we actually, on our, before we went on that trip, because this was 2 trips ago, on our podcast, everybody convinced me, all of our listeners, to do Splash Mountain. You can do this. You're going to love it. Sure. I loved watching it on vlogs, like seeing the inside and the animatronics. It was awesome. Well, little did I know, I knew the big drop was there, and I was so scared for that big drop. So when we first get into the log,
she almost killed me.
I had, I pulled the bar so tight against my stomach, it locks. You can't move it once it locks into place. And he had his gut there, and I had just lost a bunch of weight again at that point in time. So he couldn't breathe the whole ride because the bar was pushed so close to his stomach. He was like, oh my God, Melissa. He's like, what did you do? I can't breathe. So we're going through the ride, and I didn't know there were other drops inside this ride.
I thought it was just the one.
I thought it was just the one big
one
drop.
drop. Yeah.
So it hit me totally unexpectedly, and I freaked out. So the whole rest of the ride, I'm just like, I want to get off. I want to get off. I can't do this. I couldn't even watch like the good parts and all the animatronics. I was just scared the whole time, freaking out. And then when we went down the drop, I think I was practically hiding in the log, and I have my eyes closed, and I'm like this.
We have to show you the pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's again funny, but as of right now, as brave as I've become, that one I'm not doing again.
See, that reminds me of a funny story as well. I think this was back in 2013, and I was with my parents. We went to Magic Kingdom, and me and my dad, we go on Splash Mountain, and we come off, and we sat at the back. We were relatively dry. We were good. We were fine. And my mum doesn't want to go on these rides because she doesn't want to get her hair wet and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, it's fine. You'll dry so quickly. If you do get wet, blah, 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 it'll be fine. So she's never going to watch this, so she won't know that I spoke about the story. So I convince her, because I'm quite a convincing person. I'm like, hey, look at us. We're dry. We're good. Let's go. So we decided to get back in line. It was like a 30-minute wait, which is unheard of for Splash Mountain. We get in line, and my mum and dad sit right at the front, and I sit behind my dad, who's 6 foot, and my mum is a little bit shorter. We get down the big drop, and she is soaked beyond belief. And literally, we get off this ride, and I think I might have got like the biggest death scare I've ever had from my mum before, because she's like dripping with, she's just soaked, just looking at me, just like, and I'm just, I'll tell you a crazy. It's so funny, and it's just one of those moments, because that's exactly what Splash Mountain, I feel, is all about. It's about finding your happy place, and it may not be happy for her, but I found my happy place when I saw that, and it's just.
Sounds like something our kids would do.
Yeah, my happy place is when they release the bar so I can breathe again.
And I know, Megan, Splash Mountain is one of your favorites.
I love Splash Mountain. I come prepared though with my poncho, and like I always sneakily try to get in the back left seat. Yep. So that's the least wet you get in that seat. So I like try and tell my mom, like, oh, it's so much nicer on the right side. And last time we went on, I was in the front row. She's like, no, I'm going on the left side. And so I was in the front on the right, and I was like holding my poncho over my hair for dear life. I was like, please. I didn't even care about like my face. It was just like, please don't get my hair wet. And I think, I don't know if Nate's still in here, but I know Veronica ties like those bags on her hair. And then, I don't know if you guys also watch Ears to You. I know that Promise lost her hat on that.
Oh no.
Like flew off. Yeah. It's in their like opening little montage, and it's so funny if you go back and watch the original video. But I love that Veronica ties the Disney bags over her hair, and I should do that.
And I think you have a great point there, Megan, about the back left seat is the best seat, because originally it was the middle. It was the middle, but now what they've done is when you turn that corner before you go up for the first time, they have those cannons now that every time the boats come down, the cannons come up and they soak right in the middle of the boat. So you're not safe at the front, obviously, because you're going to be the first ones getting the water in your face and everywhere else. And then the middle row, you're going to get splashed by the cannons next to you when the boats come down next to you on the right-hand side. So the back left is probably your best bet. So if you want to stay dry and want to go on Splash Mountain, take Megan's tip and sit back left.
And the saddest part, getting wet was the thing I was least worried about.
That's a fantastic story. I love that. So, Walt, are we moving out of Magic Kingdom, or are we staying where we are?
My number two, that was my number two. Was Melissa Splash Mountain? It really was.
Talk at all.
No, we didn't talk at all.
Their answers.
Yeah, no, we didn't. I swear we didn't. No, we really did not. But they were such.
Sure.
lasting moments that we remember, and they're just so funny. And of course, we both have different takes on what happened to an extent, but it's so fun. It was just so funny, and the look on her face as she's dropping for the big drop is just priceless. I have to at some point find it and show you guys. It's the most hilarious thing. But we did. We talked her into finally doing it after, you know, all the other trips that we had done. And her mom was on the trip with us.
Yeah.
So, and her mom did it.
Yeah.
Her mom did it with her too.
She liked
it. And she loved it. So we were like, look, your mom's going to go. It's her first time. It'll be your first time. It's really not that bad. We didn't mention all the other drops to her. We just, you know, figured we
I did the same. I did the same.
Yeah. So, and then, you know, she's like already upset when she's like, there's more than one drop?
I know, and I was all mad. I'm like, you didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't do this.
I forgot that part. Sorry. But don't worry. It's going to be over fast. You're going to love the inside part, which she did.
No, what part I saw.
Yeah, right. It's just so funny. It was so funny that day that it really would have been my number 2 for sure. Absolutely.
Awesome. It's a you got to send us the pictures, because that is just
so bad now.
Yeah. It's so serious. She's got this. You would think she was like
being tortured.
It's so. Everybody else is like, and she's like.
But those are the memories you're going to have, and that's what's really important. So,
it was a funny moment for sure.
Awesome. That is, I love it. Megan, where are we going for your number 2 in round 2?
We are heading out of Magic Kingdom, and we're going to Hollywood Studios. And
nice.
This happened also in May, so a lot of my stuff is more on my recent trips. And my mom had never been on the Tower of Terror, and I know a lot of people are really terrified of that ride, and she was as well, and she still is. And so the last time I had gone, I wasn't able to get a fast pass for Tower of Terror. It was like an hour and a half. It was so ridiculously long to go on that. I was like, listen, I'm not going to go on by myself and wait an hour plus. I would rather just wait the next time. And so in May, I ended up getting a fast pass for it. And I was like, Mom, just go on it with me. Like, it'll be okay. Like, I promise it'll be fun. If you don't want to ever go on it again, I totally understand. And so she was like really, really nervous, as she had the right to be. You know, it's a scary ride. And as we were getting in line, she was saying, do we stand up? And I was like, what are you talking about?
Oh my God.
We're in an elevator. And I was like, oh, Mom. Like, Mom, that is not safe. We are obviously not standing up. We are sitting down. And you will be like buckled into your seat. And then it didn't help that the person in front of us had just gone on the attraction. And they're like, yeah, hold on to your backpack, because the backpack is going to fly in the air up and then come down as it does with gravity. And so my mom was getting seated, and she was putting her, her little belt on. And the entire time she screamed. If you guys remember that Resort TV 1 stream with that girl, Courtney, my mom was almost as bad as Courtney. She's like, ah! She's like, I'm coming out of my seat. I'm like, because she was going up and down. And I was just dying laughing the entire time, because she was so scared.
That's hard.
She was just like, it was like a funny scare though, because she had no idea what to expect. And the fact that she thought that we were standing on Tower of Terror just like made me die laughing too. Yeah. So that's my second one.
So hey Lisa M, what is up? So the Tower of Terror, I think, is one of those attractions where we could definitely put like it as probably our number 1 on the most terrifying attractions, because it is just so daunting, and people, like, if you don't go on it, you have no idea what to expect. And you do hear those hysterical questions that things, do you stand up? Is there like a safety bar? Is there, what happens? And I think just those moments are just so funny, because only real like Tower of Terror people who've been on it and get it really actually do you know, find those questions hysterical. And I try and make fun of it. I was on this year. I was waiting in line, and we got seated down, and the bellhop closes the door. Everyone goes quiet, and me being me, because I'm a bit, you know, I'm a bit of an idiot. I go, yeah, I asked for concierge service and a room with a balcony. And everyone just started looking at me and just started laughing. And I'm just like, hey, like everyone is like really, some people were like really terrified because you could tell that it was their first time. So I was just like, oh, I'll just make them laugh. It's just been really funny.
I love that.
But yeah, I love that story, Meg. I think it's just like, if you don't know about a specific ride, like, you know, asking, do you stand up in the ride? It just makes that experience a lot better. And I don't think I know anybody apart from maybe kids who get off that ride and don't laugh. Some of the kids may scream because they're actually screaming and crying because they're terrified. But I'm screaming and laughing because I'm just having such a great time. So
yeah, she was definitely laughing by the time she got off, but she was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do that again.
Well, that's true, because he and my oldest son are the only ones that have been on it. I refuse. And they have not been on since. And that was probably 5 years ago plus. So
Well, Tower of Terror is so unique. And the theming inside the queue is one of the best queues in all of Disney World, period. It's fantastic. It really is. But when we did it, I'm afraid of heights big time, but I did it. Walter, our oldest, wanted to do it at the time, and I was like, okay, we're going to do it. So I got to admit, Megan, I thought it was a stand-up ride too. And I'll tell you why. Because Disney used to have an advertisement for Tower of Terror where everybody goes into the elevator, and they are standing, and it looks like it drops. So when I first went for the first time, I thought it was a standing ride too. So when we got on that ride, Walter and I, in that little lap belt, I looked at the guy and I said, is that it? Is that all that's holding me in? And he didn't say anything, and he just shut the door. And I'm like, oh man, here we go.
that's funny. Actually, I think it was 7 years ago.
It was a long time
ago.
It was a
long time. Wait, I was looking for the picture. I have a picture of you two on it. I don't see it.
I got on there, and I'm like, this is it. This is all that's holding me on. And he just didn't say anything. He just shut the door, you know, in character. And it was awesome. I can't say that I got off laughing though. I looked at Melissa and I was like, I don't think I can do that again.
Well, there was
been back since.
Well, there was they used to have just a rope. I'm not even kidding you. They just had a rope that just went across all 4 or 5. This was when they first started it,
Right.
and that would have terrified me, because that's because even now, like when you go on the Tower of Terror, you do have the seatbelt, but they're not tight. You do like come out of your seat and come back down again.
Yeah, it's true.
But this rope, you would have gone, you know, flying 12 feet in the air. But there's this great cast member who's been in the promotions, and he's still working there today. And he opens the doors, and he's got like this big evil grin on his face, and he's got quite a narrow face. You can recognize him, and he's just, every time he opens the door, he's like, and I'm like, oh, this guy is so in character.
Yes.
I would love to have this guy as my bellhop at like any hotel I ever stayed at, because he just makes that experience even better, and that actually makes me laugh. Just having those. You get the bellhops who are great, and then you have the bellhops who would go the extra mile, and you get those guys who go like, it brings so much joy out of it, even though it's terrifying. So
it's a great ride. It's a great ride.
Yeah, it's awesome. Right, that is an awesome pit, man. I love that. But we're gonna stay in Hollywood Studios, and we're gonna go to the other side of the park to my pick, which is probably one of the most overlooked places and overlooked shows in all of Walt Disney World, and that is Muppet Vision 3D.
Yay, Muppet!
Let me tell you something. Muppet Vision 3D needs a lot of love, because it has been there for so long. It's so well themed, well done, and honestly, it's probably one of the only places really at Disney where it has an amazing script that is so funny that every time you go, you laugh at all the jokes every single time. But more specifically on my list, I had Statler and Waldorf, the two old guys at the top.
Yes.
And they just have the best lines in this show. It is just makes me laugh the whole time. One of the best lines was, he's trying to drown us. What kind of act is that? An act of mercy. And they just start laughing. It's like, and there's this really touching moment about Bean Buddy trying to leave like the Muppets. And Statler goes, this is a very moving moment. And then the other guy goes, yeah, I wish they moved it to Pittsburgh. It's just so funny. Like the way they cut down Fuzzy Bear and just the one-liners they give out in this movie are just hysterical. Do we have time to go to the bathroom before the next show? No, you old fool. We're bolted to the seats. So they're even breaking.
Say that, yeah.
It's just like every single joke that they do just makes me laugh so much. And I think it's a shame because we have these new Muppet movies, and they're really good, but they're not as good as, you know, Muppet Treasure Island or Muppet Christmas Carol. And you really had to either grow up with the Muppets, which I didn't because I was born in the 90s, or you had to be introduced to the Muppets, which I was. And I loved watching the Muppet Show on DVD and just, you know, powering through all these shows and all the movies. And I've grown to love the Muppets. Actually, when I applied to work in the Disney store back in the UK, they asked me to pick a toy, and I chose Fuzzy Bear. And I just think the Muppets are just so wonderful. They are hysterical. And this attraction, Muppet Vision 3D, is just, if you want to go there for laughs, that's where you go, in my opinion. It just is. And I know this was on your list, Melissa.
Well, it was one of my honorable mentions because I am a Muppet like queen. Ever since I was little, I was 2 years old. My parents have home video of me dancing in front of the television set to the Muppet Show, and it's definitely something that is been part of my just whole history growing up, and I love the Muppets. And so we're always quoting lines from Muppet Treasure Island because I, of course, introduced my kids, and we love that one. And we always do the I hate my life, and then
I hate my life.
And he says, "Oh, I hate my life too." And the other one says, "Well, if I had a life, I'd hate it." No, he said, "I hate your life too." Yeah, so it was Jim and Gonzo and Rizzo, and I'm like, anything Muppets. I mean, I try to like the newer movies. You're right; they're not the same. They're missing something, but they will always be just amazing. And my first trip to that theater there, and we walked in, and I felt like I was actually in the Muppet Theater, and I was just like, I could have cried, and I'm surprised I didn't because
first time you experienced
it was like, wow. And I'm just like, I'm here, I'm in Muppet Theater.
I know.
And they are funny. Even the little TVs you watch when you go out waiting to get in theater is so funny. All the little jokes they do out there.
Yeah, the pre-show is hysterical. And like one of the best parts is Sam Eagle's just like, hold like it was like hold the phone, like we got a very special guest, the one, the only Mickey Mouse, and then Rizzo comes like, hello, welcome to my park, and like, you're not Mickey Mouse. It's just amazingly written, just an awesome show. I don't know why people go and miss this attraction. You have to go do it. Go to Star Tours, and then literally it's round behind it. It's right there. Go and do it. So don't go to do go to Toy Story Land, but while you're waiting for Slinky Dog, go and watch Muppets because it's fantastic. Megan, Muppet Vision 3D. Did you do it last trip, or did you?
I did not do it last trip, but we try and do it maybe once a trip. But I remember when, Dan, you were gone at Walt Disney World, and we were talking about Hollywood Studios, and Corey was like, we cannot end this stream until we talk about the Muppets for Dan. And Dan is not here right now, but honorary Dan, he will be here, and we will talk about the Muppets. And we talked a little bit about it with, I think we were talking about it with Nick. But it's the Muppets are so classic, and I hope they never get rid of it. And it like even the like in the waiting queue.
Yeah. I have to have Beaker with me.
We nickname our sister. My sister's name is Beaker.
Really?
Yeah, sorry, Megan.
That's okay. That's so cool though. I mean, it is like I said, such a classic. I just, when I feel like I want to go and see it, I'm not as big of a Muppets fan as you guys, but hopefully now that more things are coming to Hollywood studios, that will be, you know, an attraction that I'll be able to see even more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Disney has done a very good job bringing back the Muppets, and they've got the show in Liberty Square, which is also really funny, and I definitely recommend.
Yeah,
great moments of American history, and they do that really, really well. Especially if you go there and you're British, it is hysterical. It's so funny because they make it so lighthearted, and it's very funny. But yeah, Megan, I think it's like you say, you try and get there every time, and I think again with Hollywood studios expanding, I think what's going to be amazing about Muppets, people think like, oh, people won't go to Muppets. In fact, I think more people are going to go to Muppets. One, because its location is very close to Galaxy's Edge.
That's true.
And two, it's going to be a busier park. So people are going to go more often to these shows and see Muppets rather than, you know, everyone going to Galaxy's Edge or everyone going to Toy Story Land, because everyone's going to be dispersed throughout the park and they will want to be as close to Galaxy's Edge or to Toy Story Land as possible. So they will go to Muppets. And I think it's I'm glad that they've kept it, especially through this massive change that Hollywood Studios is definitely doing. Awesome. Wow, time is flying by. We're going to keep round 3 a lot quicker, a lot shorter. So we're going to go round again, doing our third pick, or if you've already spoken about it, one of your honorable mentions, and then afterwards we will do our honorable mentions and then do plugs. Hey, Lasercat, what is on? Yossification. Your name is really hard to pronounce, but I love it. And Kenny joined us as well. Hey, Alpha Traveler, what's going on, my friend? Cool. So make sure we're hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. And please go subscribe to our special guests, Mouse Talk, Walt and Melissa. They are absolutely awesome. Corey Fiasco, unfortunately, cannot make it in tonight, but that's okay. He will be back next week, and we will have another special guest next week because Megan is off to Disney next week. So we'll talk about that at the end of the show. But we're going to head into round 3, and we're going to keep it a little bit quicker because we want to try and finish as close to the hour as possible. But obviously, no rush. We hope you guys enjoyed round 3. So, Melissa, what is your next pick?
It's actually the Enchanted Tiki Room, because
nice.
Again, another one we had. It just makes me laugh. It was one we didn't do until more of a recent trip, and then when those tikis just started talking and singing, I'm like, we just started cracking up, and like, I don't know, it was just something about it that just made me laugh. I'll keep it short and sweet, but I just something about that attraction. It just is hysterical. Classic, Walt Disney.
Amen to that. That's true. That's true. Yeah. Well, my number 3 is different. Absolutely different this time, I promise you. But we've only did this once, and I think it was our very first trip to Disney. It's the Hoop-Dee-Doo musical review.
Nice.
I didn't think about
Out and out, one of the most funniest shows in all of Disney. And real fast, I got to tell this story. We were there in the middle of the show. That's while you're eating. And they're doing the show, and it's kind of quieting down. And all of a sudden, they said something on the stage. And it just tickled Melissa's and I's funny bone. And we were like the only 2 that were laughing hysterically at this line. I don't remember what the line was, but he said something. And we were laughing so hard. And people are looking at us, and we're like, you didn't think that was funny?
The rest of his family, we were with his whole family. It was like crickets.
Nobody else was laughing. It was like crickets, but her and I were like cracking up, and we're like, you guys didn't think that was funny? That was really funny.
Were too busy eating.
I guess.
Here.
But the Hoop-Dee-Doo Review is a fantastic show. I don't know if you guys have ever done it. It is so funny. And it's like one of the longest running shows they said out there. It's fantastic.
So we've got 2 amazing picks. And firstly, I love that you chose the Enchanted Tiki Room, Melissa. I think there's something about these classic Disney animatronic attractions where they are just so funny and it's so simple, and you go there and actually, if you've never been to the Tiki Room, you have no idea what to expect, because you know the Tiki Room song, but after that Tiki Room song ends, it all goes crazy. It all goes completely off the wall madness. You have no idea what's going on, and that's what I love about it, and it makes me laugh. And I think that is a wonderful pick, and I think they represent what true Disney funny moments are about. So yeah, fantastic bet. But the Hoop-de-Doo review, I've never personally done it. It's something that I've always wanted to do. And I've seen clips online. I've seen people talk about it a lot. And it looks like something that you have to see it. You can't watch a video on it because it won't do it any justice whatsoever. And I think it's a live show that it's just full of quips and jokes and funny songs. It's like a show mixed with Country Bears, kind of.
Kind of. And the food's good too. And the food's good.
Oh, don't. How long is it? It's been 50 minutes and we haven't talked about food yet. So this, it's been. So I'm gonna have to check it out. Corey Meets World is here. What is up, my friend? It's good to see you. Megan, have you done the Hoop-de-Doo review?
I have not. And I would love to do that because it looks like, Dan, as you said, I've seen so many clips online and it looks so much fun. And as you said, just watching the videos online doesn't really do it justice because it's an experience. And I just
absolutely,
I would want to be close up to the front just to get all that action. But I would love to do it one day. And I love the Tiki Room. So those were great picks.
Sure. I'm just hinting it right now. Disney Fiasco group trip to Hoop-de-Doo review next year. let's just do it. Why not? Hey, Steph from Corey's Meets World, how's it going? We got Corey and Steph here, which is awesome. They did a great stream. They did a great stream this week in the Magic Kingdom, so it's good to see them. But yeah, Tiki Room, Hoop-de-Doo review. I think it's just both are. Look, I can't talk about Hoop-de-Doo review only from what I've seen through online clips, but guys, if you want to get a laugh out of like the Tiki Room or any classic Disney attractions like the Country Bear Jamboree, like the Carousel of Progress, I would 100% do it. So yeah, two fantastic choices, guys. I love it. Megan, third pick. Where are we going? Okay,
my third pick is not anything like specific, but I just picked sort of on-ride pictures. So I love
absolutely
doing like the silliest on-ride pictures. I try and do something different every single time, except when I do Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin. Because I usually get Galactic Hero before the picture, and so I'm always just like chilling out. I'll like pretend I'm sleeping. I've done this. I just, I try and make it silly. I always do something silly on the Mine Train. I do something silly on Splash Mountain. And it's just so fun to come up with different things to pose as or whatever. And I think I get the biggest kick out of that because I try and get other people to do it too. And those are like some of my best memories when I could look back on it and be like, wow, that's how fun I had on that day. And I was just being so extra silly. And I just have so many amazing pictures of me being on rides. And I get them with my photo pass because I'm an annual pass holder. So I get them for free to download. And I just like, every time I go on a ride, I'm like, I need the picture and I need to do something.
And what's even funny is when you go on these rides, and you're doing these great pictures and great poses, but it's even funnier when you see other people who you don't know. And so there was two that I remember. That there was one on Rock and Roller Coaster. There was three of us who we got a single ride who sat next to me. So I was like screaming like crazy. And then there was someone next to me, and she was just like, she was like all like ah! It was just so hysterical. And then the other one was actually this trip that I was on with Resort TV 1 and R. Johns and Nick, which is amazing. We went on Frozen. And we were having such a great time. It was great. And then there was this old guy, this bloke, who was just like, and there should have been like a meme saying, I've been listening to Frozen for like the past 3 years. Why am I on this ride? Just so fun. I think it's on Twitter as well, and it was just so fun. Hey, Rob Furs, what is up?
Rob, no steak tonight. No steak.
No steak this week. Eating pasta
or pasta.
Saturday steak. What's going on, Rob? Disappointing me. No, I'm kidding. No, but look, I think the pictures are just, you look back on them and you're like, this is hysterical. I even get some of the pictures that don't even have me in it just because of like the people in there who just look so funny on these attractions. You've got people who are Splash Mountain who are like ducking like crazy, or you've got the Tower of Terror who are like this, and their bags flying up in the air, and just it's fantastic. And then it actually goes back to the picture of you guys on Splash Mountain, so it's like a full circle.
I love that pick, Megan, because the boys purposely will do certain things on certain rides, like
Space
Mountain every time. They did the See No Evil, Hear No Evil thing one time, and a bunch of different things like that. And then what's the one you guys did where you did straight faces on?
Oh, that was Everest. I couldn't do it.
They all made sure they had no reaction on their faces instead of being totally freaked out. So it was really funny picture.
That's a great pick, Megan. That's great.
I love it. My final pick is a very simple pick. And it's a pick that I tried to narrow it down to something specific I liked about this attraction. But I realized there's so many things about this attraction that I really love that I couldn't. And that is my favorite attraction, Mega's favorite attraction.
Haunted Mansion.
The Haunted Mansion.
My favorite attraction too.
And Walt's favorite attraction as well. Absolutely. I think the Haunted Mansion, from as soon as you enter the gates to right until you come off the attraction, it is just one of the funniest attractions there is. And I'm just going to do a very, very quick like ride through. So you walk through the queue and immediately you get these tombstones. And all these tombstones have like a rhyme on it that just talk about how somebody died.
So witty.
And it's hysterical. It's so funny. You see like, this is how this person died. And then because he, it was just, they're just hysterical. And I think the whole point of the Haunted Mansion was it was an attraction that wasn't meant to be scary. That was Walt's idea, not Walt from Mouse Walt Disney. The other Walt. That's what his idea. It was like he didn't want to create a terrifying attraction. He wanted something that it had those themes of darks, like ghosts and ghouls, but he wanted to make it very whimsical. So most of it, for probably about half of the attraction, is kind of very slow, very dark, and you got the bumps and some of the ghosts. You got an amazing narrator. You've got Madame Leota in the ball, just narrating, and it's amazing. But then as soon as you pass the bride scene, and you get into the grave, the backyard, the graveyard, it all starts to liven up. It's very ironic. It's all starting to liven up when everything is dead. And it just makes me want to sing along, and people are, jumping because the zombies are popping out of the tombstones. You got the hitchhiking ghosts who mess around with your heads. Yeah. It's just a wonderful, whimsical attraction. And just everything about it. And that's what really makes it my favorite attraction, because it just makes me laugh and smile, and just I enjoy it so much from start to finish. I have to go to Megan first, what her thoughts about laughing and enjoyment on the Haunted Mansion and why she loves it so much.
Oh my gosh. First of all, I think a lot of you guys know this is my favorite attraction. I have loved it for so long, and just walking through the queue, it's so witty. They have the little murder mystery game. It's not really a game, but like the little busts that are in the queue, and everything rhymes. They pay homage to so many Disney Imagineers in that little graveyard. I love everything about the interactive queue now. And then going in, it's like, even their puns, please move towards the dead center of the room. And it's just like the cast members are always so on point. I love everything they say. Going through the ride, as Dan, you said, it's kind of like the first half of the ride is sort of spooky. And then the second half of the ride, you hear the ghost host saying the ghosts have, what is it? Oh my gosh. I know it. I
The
had it
ghosts
in my
are
head.
ready to materialize.
Yes, they have received your sympathetic vibrations and now will begin to materialize. And I just, going in to the graveyard scene, it's so happy. And you're in a graveyard and it's happy. And like,
throwing a party.
it gets in my head all day. And it's like, and I love it. I can't even talk. We should just have an entire stream about the Haunted Mansion.
Well, I was literally just thinking that for Halloween, I think we should do a Haunted Mansion Disney Fiasco show. So maybe it'll be like a special where we'll bring on more than just me, you, and Corey. So, and speaking of one of those lovers of Haunted Mansion, Walt, and obviously Melissa, you can chime in as well. What is it about the Haunted Mansion that makes you go just laugh and just have an amazing time?
Well, it's unique to anything else in Disney, period. There's nothing else like it in all of Walt Disney World. It stands alone, and it stands the test of time. It's fantastic. Everything about it is just wonderful. I love the fact that they, use the rhymes on the tombstones. And the ride itself is fantastic. My favorite scene in the ride is actually the scene where you look down the hallway and you see the candelabra floating.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I love that scene. I don't know why. I just do. I really think that's a great scene. But it really does make you smile and laugh. And like when you're going past the ballroom, that Melissa's favorite scene, the ballroom, and they're dancing.
Yeah, me too.
You got the lady blowing out the candle. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of the ghosts is actually asleep.
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah.
He's asleep.
Yeah.
And I just chuckle at that every time. I'm like, I didn't think you could be tired as a ghost.
That's true.
But it's a great ride. I love that ride. Everything about it. I love the fact that it's not based off an IP and intellectual property, and it's just it's its own thing, and it's the best. It's the best ride. Period. I love that ride.
Awesome.
No, I'm gonna leave it at that.
But yeah,
I love it. I think it's great.
I think we can talk a lot, for another 2-3 hours about the Haunted Mansion. But we're going to start wrapping things up. Thank you guys so much for your picks. We're going to quickly run through what I would like to do now very, very quickly. This is what we do at the end of the show, is just run through, like, number 1 is this, number 2 is this, number 3 is this, and then just go through your honorable mentions, and then we'll start doing plugs. So we'll start with Melissa, the birthday girl. What is your number 1 to 5-ish?
Oh, just out of the ones I did?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
goodness. I can even remember them now. That's awful. See, I'm old. No, it was my. Help me remember.
Big Thunder.
Big Thunder
Oh,
Mountain.
yeah, the Big Thunder with the 3-year-old behind me.
Awesome.
Splash Mountain, cutting Walt in half.
Yeah.
Tiki Room.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Country Bears was one of my honorable mentions, and Muppets.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
Now,
Walt?
For me, well, number 1, and our first 2 are the same. It would be our Big Thunder Mountain and our Splash Mountain moments. Number 3 for me was the Hoopty Doo Review, for sure. I just think that was the funniest show ever. And my 2 honorable mentions were ones that were already mentioned. It's Country Bear Jamborees and Enchanted Tiki Room. I think the Tiki Room is one of the funniest things ever.
It's funny, we only had one thing different between us.
Yeah, and we did not look at each other's list. I
We
promise
didn't even
you.
confer the least little bit.
Yep.
Awesome. That's really funny. I love that you didn't talk about it beforehand, but you just
Not at
know.
all.
That's amazing.
That's 23 years of
Yeah.
marriage. That's probably what that is.
Fantastic. Right. Megan, what is your list for this evening?
So my number 1 was the Monsters Inc. laugh floor, and I was talking about that guy with the backpack, which you guys will see upcoming. And my second pick was my mom on the Tower of Terror. It was so funny. My number 3 is the on-ride photos. My number 4 was when my mom and I both got Galactic Hero at the same time. It was
Oh, wow. That's
Cool.
That's
He was
a
so
bit freaky.
yeah. It was so funny. And my number 5, I was on Space Mountain one time, and the person in front of me was very tall, and he had put his hands up, and he hit the track, and
Oh
all
my
I could hear of it was him going, "No, no, keep your hands down, keep your hands down." He wasn't hurt or anything, but it was so funny. I just like was
Oh my
laughing.
god. That's crazy.
I hope he was okay. He wasn't hurt or anything, but it was so funny to hear his reaction to it.
Oh my god.
My goodness me. That escalated so quickly, and I'm just like, wow, where do I go from here?
Sorry.
No, it's okay. But no, again, those are really, really awesome picks, and I fantastic job. And guys, this was really awesome. My pick was number 1 was Big Al from the Country Bear Jamboree, and just in general, the Country Bear Jamboree. Muppet Vision was my second choice, highlighting Statler and Waldorf. My number 3 was. Did I do my? Oh no, no. Did I do my? Oh yeah, Haunted Mansion. Hey, it's 1:05 in the morning. Haunted Mansion. My honorable mentions were the Royal Historians from the Frozen Ever After Frozen sing along.
Yes.
Who improvised the show? Who are hysterical. They are just really, really funny. And my final pick was number 5 was specific lines from the Carousel of Progress.
Yeah.
Like it takes like New York to LA in just 7 days, or hey, they're building a flying machine. It will never work. Like it's just all these great one-liners from the Carousel of Progress, going back to Country Bears and Tiki Room. Again, that classic Disney wit that we all love. But guys, Disney Fiasco episode number 15. I can't believe we've done 15 episodes.
I know.
Is in the books, and we are so excited to see what's coming up next, which brings me on to next week's show. Like you did this week, you guys did absolutely awesome in the chat for choosing what topic you wanted to do this week. You chose an amazing topic for this week, and I would like you to do the same for next week. Next week, we're going to be doing an all movies Disney Fiasco show, and I have chosen 4 movies that I would like you to pick to discuss for next week's show. So that is number 1, Avengers Infinity War, number 2, Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs, number 3, Monsters Inc., and number 4, 101 Dalmatians. I'll put all the links and put a poll up for on my Twitter, so please go and vote on there. We'll be talking about one of those movies next week. Plugs. First and foremost, thank you so much, Walt and Melissa, for joining us on Disney Fiasco this week.
Thank you.
We had
Are you kidding?
we had so much fun having you guys on. It was really, honestly, we couldn't be any more grateful. And guys, if you have not checked out Mouse Talk, guys, can you please there we go. Thank you, Donna, for putting their link in the chat. They are so close to 1,000 subscribers. Please show them some love. They are an amazing couple, an amazing family who love Disney as much as we do. Please show them some love. They are absolutely awesome. They do great podcast videos and talk about their very best of Disney. You did a great Epcot live stream, which was just so funny. Talking about fish and chips and Marmite and our favorite things about World Showcase. It was great. It was really fun. And go and check them out on Twitter. And do you have an Instagram?
We do not. Yes. No, we don't do Instagram.
Not yet.
We're going to have to work on that.
But Twitter, Mouse Talk.
Facebook, too.
And Facebook, Mouse Talk. There we go, guys. Everything I'll put in the link description down below. Anything else you guys want to plug for today, guys?
Oh, just, we definitely appreciate you again having us on Disney Fiasco. It was fantastic. Very honored. Thank you to the Live Place, for obviously having us on there as well. We really appreciate them. It's been great. Megan, thank you as well for including us. We've had a great time tonight. We really have.
Fun.
Normally we'll do videos at least once or twice a week. We have been doing what's called our Saturday series right now, where we are doing overviews of all the resorts. And we really have been enjoying that, and have a new one coming out this week. And other than that, we have our live streams on Thursday nights on the Live Place.
Awesome.
So that's what's coming up.
Thank you so much. And Melissa, happy birthday again from all of us. Megan, well, you are 6 days away till
5
Disney.
days, Dan. 5.
Yeah, Dan.
Dan's making it longer. 5 days.
Technically, it's 4 days for me. So I miscounted by 2 days. So, hey, the Live Place are here. They are here. So, hey, Dean and Nick from them. So please go check out the Live Place. But 5 days, aka 4 days in my case. I bet excitement is just overflowing right now, and you can't wait to get there.
I cannot wait. It's just, I'm so excited. I can't wait to go to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. I can't wait. If you guys don't know, I'm going with my boyfriend, and he's never been to Walt Disney World, and I can't wait to show him everything. He's so excited to make lightsabers. We're going to do the galactic dessert party at Hollywood Studios.
Nice.
And so I'm so excited to try that. I'm so excited to do so many things. I can't wait to show you guys. I will be doing some live streams while we're there, but then I will also be vlogging my trip, and I can't wait to show everyone.
Nice, very nice.
Excited.
Exciting.
So please, guys, go check out Megan's channel, Mickey's Magic, one of my awesome partner channels, part of the Disney Fiasco family. She's absolutely awesome. Please go check her out, subscribe to her channel, and go find her on Twitter and on Instagram at Mickey's Magic. Just thank you again for coming on, and we cannot wait for your Disney videos and live streams and everything. So have a safe trip, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
I know.
We'll miss you. We will miss you. And speaking of people who we're missing, Corey Fiasco, dude, we miss you very, very much. I hope everything is all right and you're doing very well, my friend. We do miss you, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. So please go check out Corey's channel. That's also in the link down below. He does amazing pin videos. He's moving down to Disney very soon, so he's going to do a lot of videos from there as well. So please go check out Corey Fiasco, another partner channel of ours and a good member of our family.
Miss you, Corey.
Yeah, we miss you, Corey. And as for me, just another plug to the live place. Thank you so much again for having me on your website. Thank you again just so much for all your support, and everybody in the chat. You guys are not my subscribers. You are my friends. Thank you so much. Tomorrow I will be releasing episode number 5, my vlog number 5 from my trip. So I'm super excited. We will be looking at, I vlogged Festival of Fantasy. I can't even remember. I've edited such a long time ago. Mickey's Royal Friendship Fair, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and a couple of other stuff, and the People Mover. So yeah, that's going to be coming out tomorrow, so please go check that out. You can follow me on Twitter on at Disney Dan, as well as Instagram. And yeah, so I think we are all good with plugs. Thank you everybody for turning out tonight. I know we've run a little bit over, but hey, you guys are awesome. So as I always say, guys, live your life with a smile each and every day, and I'll see you guys next week for Disney Fiasco episode number 16. I'll see you guys real soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.